keep trying to tell my mother that sixth grade has to be the most stressful time in anyone's life. I'm trying to find myself. I'm trying to find friends that accept me. I'm trying to find happiness and joy. And then I need to think about what I'm doing for the rest of my life. And then Christina keeps turning around and looking at me and giving me that little wink. And I'm trying to figure out, do I like her or do I kind of love her? And she's up there talking about pronouns and nouns and adjectives and all that other stuff that really means nothing to me right now. Oh God, I need a miracle. I need you to get me out of this. Then all of a sudden the intercom comes on and says, Miss Gunner, will you please release Timothy Peoples out of class? His father is here to pick him up. As soon as I heard that, I jumped up and I ran out of class. I was so excited. I gave my father the biggest hug I'd ever given him in my entire life. We jumped in the truck and we went down some roads, and then he took some dirt roads and went through some fields and some woods. It was a little scary at first. And then we stopped at a pond and he said, today, number one, which he often calls me, we're going fishing. And I love fishing more than anything in the world, more than shopping, more than eating, more than cooking. I love fishing. But you could tell on my face that I was a little sad. I was a little worried. And he said, don't worry, I brought all the equipment that you need. You brought everything, you brought yourself, that's enough. But I have the tools, I have the poles, I have the bait, and I have the hook. So I got out the truck and I began to trace my poles, And he said, no, because we're in a different type of pond than what we're usually in. We're going to be fishing for a different type of fish. And we usually fish for bass. And when you fish for bass, you have to cast out your rod and bring it back in and cast it out. And he said, this time we're fishing for catfish. So when you fish for catfish, you just leave it out there and you patiently wait for your little nibble or all that kind of stuff. After that fishing trip, I left with about 8 catfish. And we went home and fried them up. And I learned that catfish tastes so much better than bass. Calling the disciples. In Matthew chapter 4, verses 18 through 22, Jesus sees 2 brothers out fishing, and he calls them and says, I will turn you fishers of men. So they drop their nets, they drop their poles and their bait, and they run to Jesus. He sees another 2 fishing with their father, and they drop their things and they run to Jesus. And when I saw that they dropped all their things, I was a little confused because Jesus still tells them that they would be fishers. They would just be fishing for something different. Fishing for a different type of fish. Fishing for men. We don't see the disciples becoming fishers of men until Matthew chapter 10. And before Jesus sends them off to do the work, he says a few things to them. He says, I will give you all the equipment and all the tools you need, all the authority and all the power to cast out demons, to heal the sick, to raise the dead, to touch the untouchables, to help the hurting, to let them know that the kingdom of God is near, to bring them closer to me. And he says, because I have been generous to you, you must be generous to them, and you must not take any gifts, no silver or gold, but the only thing that they must do is they must feed you. You must be fed. And when I saw that, my eyes lit up, because in a way that was telling me that everything that the disciples used to fish for, all the fish and the squid and the catfish and the bass that they used to fish for, it would be on their plates, because where the geographical setting that the disciples were, fish was heavily eaten. So everything that they used to fish for, they would gain. Calling the disciples. Before you and I, all of us, can become fishers of men, we have to be ordinary fishers, and that is what we are in this world. We're fishing for something. We're fishing for hope. We're fishing for love. We're fishing for a place to fit in. We're fishing for friends that will accept us for who we are. We're fishing for security. But I tell you, while you're out on your little boat with your little pole and you're in the lake called life, when you're called by Christ, when you hear his calling, run. Now, don't run away from him, but run to him. Run immediately to his call. Drop your poles, drop your baits, drop your nets, and run to him, because you're not going to need your old equipment. You're not going to need your old poles. You're not going to need your old bait, because you're fishing for something different. You're fishing for something better. You're fishing for something greater. You're fishing for a different type of fish. You're fishing for me. Pastor Jason Coker, a great mentor of mine, said in his summer sermon that God does not call the equipped, but he equips those who he calls. God does not call the equipped, but he equips those give us the poles to get the fish, to get them in. And in a way, we already have that bait, our tools, and our nets is right here, the Word of God, to go out and tell people about the blessings, the miracles, and the great things that Christ has done within our lives, and even if it's the lives that were in the Bible, to go out praising and worshiping and praying and touching and helping those out there. And because Christ has been so generous to us, we must be generous to others, and we must not accept anything, no gifts, or gold and silver for the things that we do. But just make sure that you're fed, and I tell you that everything that you're fishing for before, you're going to get it. You're fishing for hope. You're going to get it on your plate. You're going to catch it. You're going to eat it. You're going to be filled with it. You're fishing for love. You're fishing for friends. God is so love. He's in love with you. He has so much joy. He has so much love and power. He's a great friend. He's so secure. Everything that you're fishing for before, you will have. In Corinthians, it says that because I'm doing the work of Christ, my spirit, my body, and my mind is being filled. I get on a deeper level with Christ. Calling the disciples. As a child, I found out that catfish tastes so much better than bass. As I grew up, I learned that fishing for men, fishing for Christ, fishing with Him tastes so much better than fishing for catfish.